I am Jordan, and I'm going to be doing a tag today. It's been quite a while since I did a tag. I do love tags. It's probably my favorite kind of booktube video to watch. I've just fallen out of the habit of making them myself. But I'm going to get back into it because I was tagged. I was tagged in the Garbaugust Trashy book tag, which was created by CrimonOlly, and I was tagged by Steve Donoghue. And those are, of course, both fantastic channels. I'll leave a link to them both down below. And this was a tag that was created in order to commemorate a new booktube event, which is happening next month, the month of August. And it's a booktube event that I confess I don't fully understand. I've actually had a conversation about this with another booktuber. I guess maybe I just don't understand the terms. The idea of the event, if you haven't heard, is to devote the month of August to reading trash, to reading garbage literature. And I guess I'm wondering why. Why would you want to read trash and garbage? I guess the impression I'm getting from hearing people talk about it is that they enjoy the trash and the garbage they read. But for me, if I'm enjoying a book, I would never call it trash or garbage. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I must be missing some kind of nuance of the definition of the word trash here. So I'm going to try this tag, but it's going to be a little difficult for me because, like I said, I can't see myself reading and enjoying trash, which is not trying to sound arrogant or, holier than thou. It just seems like a contradiction in terms to me. If I'm liking it, it's not trash. But anyways, I'm going to try. So prompt number 1 is trashy books are often dismissed by the critics. What's a book which is regarded as trash, which you think has artistic value? I'm going to go with Stephen King here. I think that a lot of Stephen King's books have artistic value. I'm not just saying that for sentimental reasons. Stephen King, of course, played a formative role in my early years as a reader. I think that's true for a lot of people. But I do think a lot of his books stand up quite well. A lot of them don't, of course. But the book I'm going to pick for this prompt is actually a book which is not even particularly well thought of among King fans, I gather. And that's Gerald's Game, which is quite a good book, honestly. The ending is, of course, totally botched. That's just a matter of course with King. In the case of Gerald's Game, it's a particularly heinously bad ending. I would even recommend, if you're reading it for the first time, to stop before the final chapter or whatever it is. It really is that bad. It's laughably bad. But up to that point, it's a very, very good book, a very disturbing and psychologically complex and nuanced book. And the premise of it is, although it is pretty smutty and trashy, is also very, very engaging and daring. And I really think he pulls it off. So I'm going to go with Gerald's Game. 2 is critics often love books with extreme or challenging content. Which critically praised book did you think was trash? I'm going to say Ulysses by James Joyce, which is trash, certainly, in my humble opinion. I don't hate many books. It's very rare that I'm reading a book and I'm thinking I hate this. I hate Ulysses. It's a very, very bad, hateful little book, daring you to take it seriously so that it can mock you for taking it seriously. That being said, there are passages in Ulysses that are undeniably gorgeous and beautiful and well done, but they're so buried in just the swamp that is the self-indulgence and the pretension and the mockery that is Ulysses, that they might as well not exist. Now, that being said, a lot of people really love that book. And not only do they love it, it means a lot to them. Like, they get a lot of joy out of it. I've heard many people describe Ulysses as a joyful book, as a bright, joyful book, which I think is wonderful. Like, if Ulysses does that for you, God bless. That's a great experience to have with reading. To me, it is, I would wipe my ass with it. That's how low my esteem for it is. So Ulysses is trash, in my opinion, but the critics love it. 3 is not everyone approves of trashy books. What's a book you wouldn't read in public? I'm afraid I don't have an answer for this. If I wouldn't read a book in public, I wouldn't read it at all. I don't read porn, and that's really the only book that I wouldn't feel comfortable reading in public. So I'm going to have to pass on this one. 4 is books about killer animals are almost always trashy. What animal would you least like to be attacked by? This is a cool question. After giving it some thought, I'm gonna have to say, well, I guess I just have an aversion to owls, partly because they eat my friends, right? But also they're just very, very creepy, demonic-looking creatures. So, provided I was small in the size like of a rodent and I could be attacked by owls, I think the idea of being attacked by an owl is terrifying. um, 5 is trashy books often flourish in specific genres. What's your favorite trashy subgenre? Well, once again, if I'm enjoying it, my thought is never, oh, this is trash, so I don't really have an answer for this either. But I will say a subgenre that I really like that maybe other people would consider trash, and that's horror sci-fi. I just think that those two genres fit really well together and can yield some very, very interesting and very, very disturbing results if it's done well. 6 is famous people love to milk their fans by publishing books. Which celebrity would you like to read a trashy novel by? I'm going to say Kanye West. Kanye is a deeply disturbed man. He's got some serious issues, which is unfortunate, but he's also a great artist, in my opinion. And I feel like any book he wrote would certainly not be good, but it would be fascinating, just like everything he creates is. So I'm going to say Kanye West. 7 is trashy books have the best covers. Which book on your shelves has the trashiest cover? I'm afraid I don't have any books with particularly trashy covers. I do have some candidates here for some very bad covers, though. First of all, I'm going to go with The Ceremonies by T.E.D. Klein. Look at this. This is just a really, really stupid cover. We have the art here, which I guess is okay, but it's crammed over to the side in order to make room for this Stephen King blurb, the font of which is so big that it looks ridiculous. This is just a really, really stupid looking cover. And then I have a Stephen King book, actually, Eyes of the Dragon. That is an intensely dumb, tacky cover. And finally, what I think takes the cake is a very, very good novel, actually, and that's On Wings of Song by Thomas Dish, which is a great sci-fi novel, but look at how stupid and tacky that cover is. I mean, it's laughable. It's honestly endearing how bad that cover is. So I'm going to go with that, but it is a very, very good book. 8 is trashy books often contain adult themes. What's a book you read before you were old enough to? I'm going to say The Godfather by Mario Puzo, which is a book looking back now. I read it when I was, I think, 13 or 14, and I haven't read it since, nor do I intend to ever read it again. But looking back now, it certainly qualifies as trash. Not only is it just sensationalist in its violence, but it's also deeply, deeply smutty. I don't know how many of you have read it, but it's borderline pornographic a lot of the time, and I was not ready for that at the age at which I read it. It's just a bad book, and I will also draw some controversy here by saying that the movie is bad too. I mean, morally bad. Like, the movie is beautiful and well done, of course, but the movie The Godfather, Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather, glorified organized crime and murder in a way that had such an impact on American culture, to the point where even now people tend to think of characters like that as being kind of noble and larger than life. There's no glory to that. It's just murder. So I have some deep moral reservations about the film The Godfather, but that has literally nothing to do with this tag, so I'm not sure why I brought it up. Anyways, moving on. 9. If you were a character in a shifter romance, what creature would you want you or your partner to shift into? I don't know what a shifter romance is. I'm sorry. I'm assuming it's like, based on the answers I've heard from other booktubers, it's some kind of like shapeshifter, like turning into animals type thing, I guess. If I could turn into any kind of animal, I think I'd go with a whale. That sounds really cool, so I'm going to say whale here. And 10 is tag the trashiest booktubers you know. I'm going to tag a single booktuber, and that's Tom of Tom LA Books, because there's nothing trashier than high medieval Italian literature. So, Tom, if you're watching, I would love to see your answers to this tag. And thank you to Steve for tagging me. And I'm really hoping that someone will make some clarifying videos on Garbaugust so I can have a deeper understanding of what is meant by garbage literature and how one can enjoy garbage literature. If I'm missing out on something, I want to know about it so I can enjoy it too. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a good day.